What's going on, guys? It's the Fantasy Hockey Expert here. Happy week 1 of hockey and happy Canadian Thanksgiving to everyone who's celebrating. We're going to get into our week 1 waiver wire and fantasy hockey recap as there's been a ton of stuff going on in the NHL. It's only Friday. We have a night off, so there's no better time to watch this video. Starting off with most recently, Thursday night, my Boston Bruins went 2-0, a big win over the Blackhawks. Fraser Minton had a nice OT winner, and we're seeing a little more fantasy appeal from the Bruins. We're seeing that you can rely on their backup as a streamer in Jonas Korpisalo, and we're seeing a little more of that top line really gelling in David Pastrnak and Morgan Geekie, along with Pavel Zacha / Elias Lindholm. So we're seeing some great options up front. Nothing really crazy on D yet, but definitely something to keep an eye on. And I mean, I'm just hoping my Bruins can keep proving our subscribers wrong, and especially a lot of my buddies who don't believe in the Bruins. So moving on, last night, Kyle Connor scored a hat trick for the Winnipeg Jets and showed why he's that first/second round pick in your fantasy league. So big tilt between the Jets and the Stars. If you were watching, you probably thought a little bit about the playoffs. So a little bit of a playoff hockey matchup there. This was a 5-4 game. This was a game that was going back and forth. We also saw a Vegas-San Jose game that ended in a very weird way. If you guys were watching, Riley Smith put away the game winner in an OT off of a very interesting bounce. It was a tap-in, probably the biggest of tap-ins you're going to see in a long time. So definitely go check a recap if you don't know what I'm talking about. Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, ton of guys were flying, but it was Jack Eichel and Pavel Dorofeyev who filled the score sheet. Dorofeyev now has 4 goals in his first 2 games. He's probably going to be number 1 on your waiver wire, and if he's already picked up, then it's too late to grab him. But he's a guy that just been talked about all offseason from a lot of guys, including Pete Jensen and Jay Kahn from the NHL Fantasy Pod. Definitely a great pod to watch. They go over things like waiver wires, mailbag questions, and things like that. Now, let's get into more of what's been going on this week and who you need to actually target in your leagues. I'm going to start a little bit with goaltending. And if you were lucky enough to pick up Scott Wedgewood, you'll know that he had 2 games, 2 goals against, and 2 wins. So pretty much just the perfect goalie week outside of no shutouts. But there weren't many shutouts in the NHL. We had Shesterkin shut out the Sabres last night. We also had Philip Gustafsson shut out the Blues. Now, a really exciting name in Zeev Buium. We saw him make his NHL debut yesterday. Didn't get any points, didn't really get on the board, but I saw some really good skating out there, and I saw that Buium kind of was confident all around the ice, and that's what you want. You want a defenseman who's not just confident in the offensive zone, but for fantasy purposes, his production might take a while to really boom and really get there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Buium just on the first power play and not really out in the lineup too much when it comes to 5-on-5 minutes. He didn't play a ton, but you got to remember you have Brock Faber signed at that $9 million deal, and that's why he's there too. Let's get into our top 5 waiver wire ads on the week. And this is going to be for your Saturday and Sunday slates. So this is the time you guys are going to want to watch if you haven't watched yet. We're going to go over 5 guys you're going to want to add as there's a big weekend ahead, and there are a few teams that play back-to-back games. The 5 guys that I'm going to talk about come from the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers, and this is going to be more if you're looking to win your week. Don't worry too much about next week, as I will go over that. There are 3 teams to target early in the week next week. Those are the Toronto Maple Leafs, Nashville Predators, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So 3 teams. Easy way to think of it is Stamkos. I mean, he's from Toronto, played for the Preds, played for the Lightning. So next week, Monday, Tuesday, we're looking at 3 teams with back-to-backs. Really important if you're looking ahead at next week, but if you're looking at just this weekend in Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to list 5 guys you guys can pick up in your leagues. First off is Ryan Leonard of the Washington Capitals. Like I said, this guy's a breakout candidate from day one. He looked really good the last few nights, didn't really get on the board, but I wouldn't be surprised if he sees some time with Alex Ovechkin. He really was feeding the puck to Ovi, and that's part of the reason why Ovi had so many shots. So again, first off, Ryan Leonard, a right wing from the Capitals. Next up, you're going to go right into the Rangers in Will Cuylle. Guys, if Cooley's not picked up in your league, I don't know what your league's doing. He's first line, gets hits, gets penalty minutes. Just a weapon out there. He's not afraid to shoot, not afraid to lay the body. And again, playing first line, not the top power play, but I don't see an issue with that. And so Will Cooley's the second guy. He's left wing, right wing, dual eligible from the Rangers. Third guy, Jonathan Quick. He's going to get a start this weekend against a Caps or a Penguins team, I believe that is. Quick against the Penguins, I'd happily start him. Quick against the Caps, I'd still start him because I think the Rangers own that Caps team. If I'm wrong, you got to let me know in the comments. Number 4, the Jakob Chychrun of the Washington Capitals. If Chychrun's not rostered in your league, you're probably not in a super deep league, but he's a guy who might see top power play time along with John Carlson. So you might see a 2 defenseman power play out there, depending on how it rolls. The 5th guy we're going to target for this weekend is Alexis Lafrenière of the New York Rangers. Just coming off a multi-point game, I guess is the term. And this guy, it's time. It's time for him to shine. There's no more waiting until next year. Chris Kreider's gone, and I think that's exactly what Laffy needed. Another guy who's kind of a breakout candidate, even though he's getting old. I guess he's getting to that age where you can only break out so much. But Laffy's in a good spot. He's in the top 6. He's on the first power play. And we know that he was the first overall pick for a reason. He's just really got to show it. And I mean, this is the year for him. There should be less pressure. We're looking at Panarin on a contract year. We're looking at Zibanejad looking to bounce back. So you're looking at some big guys on that team who really need to fill their shoes. That's why Laffy should thrive. He's got 2 games this weekend. Pick him up if you're needing to win your week. So those are your 5 guys for the week. That's going to end off our video today, and I'll be back with a week 2 video along with some more videos, hopefully daily, but definitely weekly for you guys. Hopefully you win your week, and I can't wait to hear from you guys.